Art of War Cage Fighting 30 goes down in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, and headlining that event is my next guest. He's one of the top middleweight prospects in the country. And he joins me again. His name is Earl Small. Coach Trouble, welcome to the show once again, sir. Pleasure to see you.
My guy, always a pleasure.
Well, I first wanted to hit on a topic that has nothing to do with fighting. I follow you on Instagram, and it looked like a family adopted you on a cruise, and I wanted to talk to you about that because I thought that was kind of funny. And that doesn't surprise me because I know you a little bit, and you seem like the type of guy that would get adopted. Somebody would look at you and be like, "Oh, that's a cute stray. Let's bring him in." What happened? Can you talk to me about that?
I got a buddy of mine, K-Pod. He's a black belt at the school I train at, and he was like, "Yo, bro, you want a free cruise ticket? Like, you want to come on a cruise with me?" I was like, "I ain't gonna say no." Yeah, and that's my dude. So, I don't know how to explain this. So, in the Gulf of Mexico, on our way to Mexico, he got sick. He actually had gotten kidney stones, which is, one of the worst pains you can get. So he was basically in the ER of the ship the entire time. He, in extreme pain. And here I am, like I got invited on the trip. And it's kind of, I don't know, I was calling it the geriatric cruise. There was a lot of old people. It wasn't mad fun, to be honest. I mean, it was a good time, but it wasn't a young crowd.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I had booked all these excursions to go through Honduras and Mexico and all these different places. I'm not gonna do them by myself. So I just made conversation. One day I was at the lunch table, dinner table, and yeah, just met these people from Louisiana. Actually, no, when I first got on the boat, I had met them, and they were just super sweet, super nice, and I'm part of the family now. Yeah, they have bought fight shirts, and they're gonna stream the pay-per-view. Like, yeah, these are my people. So I hung out for the entire 7 days on the cruise just with some random family in Louisiana. Like, hey,
I wanted to I brought that up specifically, number one, because I think it's kind of a unique slash funny story in a way, but also like it brings out a different side of you because like we think about like top prospects like you, and we think about fighting, and that's it. And like it's easy to get lost in the sauce and not remind ourselves, or we forget the fact that you have a life outside of fighting. And for you, like as a martial artist, like kind of like staying out of the gym for a little while and like just being a regular person for a little bit, like does that like help you from like a mental health standpoint to just kind of like unplug for a little bit?
of course, I think it's important for any athlete, and it comes so easy to me. That comes easier in fighting. Like I'm a personality. Like if the day comes and I get that UFC call and people put microphones in front of my face, my stock's gonna go up because I'm a outgoing, funny dude. I love to have a good time. I love to be a people's person, meet strangers, talk to strangers. Like that's what life's all about, man. Oh, I can't stand I don't know, what would you call that? I don't know, an introverted, kind of weird, quiet. Man, be outgoing, live a life, like send vibes out. You feel me? Yeah. If your question, you asked if it helps. It definitely does, man. And I'm actually one of the more normal people in my family as far as it comes to being social. My family, a bunch of crazy gypsies. They'll talk your ear off.
Well, I wanted to talk specifically now about Art of War. You're a CFFC guy in the past. You've had a bunch of fights with them. Your contract goes up, then you decide to take an opportunity with Art of War. This will be your second fight going up with them. What's your experience been like with these guys? I can't confess I know a lot about the promotion, but I do know they're PA-based promotion, and a lot of fighters over in your part of the country they go through this promotion. And what's your experience been like with them?
You know what? I wouldn't say I had a horrible experience with CFFC. I think I had very fair matchmaking and a good relationship with the promoters and the owners. Um, they had offered me the title, which you would know it's a very prestigious title. What was this? Donovan Beard. I feel like I would have smoked him, whooped his ass. Um, they wanted me to sign up for another contract. So, that may mean less opportunities
Am
for
I
me.
allowed to say it would have been a three fight contract? Am I allowed to say that?
Maybe, I don't know. Maybe three, maybe five, who knows?
Would have been
Might
a,
be two.
for a title. It probably would have been a three fight contract. I think that's a
Right.
safe assumption, and people don't always
So
realize that.
yeah, so my goal is UFC, but maybe another opportunity would have came along and I wanted to make some money or take advantage of it. It would have put stipulations on that. With Art of War, I have so much freedom. I'm getting paid a lot more. Granted, I signed a contract with CFC during the COVID time, but I'm getting paid way, 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 way more. Um, I think there's a lot more promotion put behind me. I feel like I'm really one of their guys at Art of War. And another big reason is when you look at the 85 or the pros that have won titles at Art of War, Andre Petrowski, Joe Pfeiffer. So it's big for me and big for that promotion to hold another 85er that goes to UFC, So it's business at the end of the day. So I took a chance and said, you know what, I'm going to work with these guys. And they've been very good to me. Mike Bickings and his wife has been very good to me. Um, and I still think my plan is going to go through. We're going to make our way to the UFC, and I'll be the third guy to hold a title and, yeah, make our way to the UFC.
In your first AOW fight, you fought Ellis. That one didn't go your way, but I will say that I look at Ellis. He's obviously a very talented fighter. He went on and ended up getting the CFFC middleweight title, beating Donovan Beard not that long ago. But can you walk me through that one? Like he's a tough guy, but I'd like to get your thoughts. Like when you like think back about that fight, like 15 minutes in the cage with that guy, like what were your main takeaways having spent 15 minutes with Greg Ellis?
After rewatching the fight, it's like a percentage of me. It's a fragment of me and who I really am. So I don't dwell on it too much. As far as my coaching, my team, and everybody around me they know how talented I am. And this is no knockoff to Greg. The thing is with a fight with Greg is he's a fucking vet and he's mad experienced. His record didn't show when we fought, but he was undefeated at 85. He's fought some stud guys at 170, and he's only lost to stud guys. And he's also had a immaculate amateur career. So this guy had more amateur fights than I had AMI and pro combined. And I think that may have been the difference. I had a lot of stipulations on the line. I'm actually filming a documentary about my life. My brother's filming a documentary about my life and jiu-jitsu training. So we were filming the fight for the title, the UFC stipulations. We had spoke off camera about my stock growing and just having so many people. I might have sold 150 tickets, 200 tickets. I had a nation there.
Mm-hmm.
So I think the lights kind of got to me a little bit, and it came down to experience. Where even though I might be around 12 fights, including amateur fights. They're all first round finishes. And this dude Greg has all hard fought decisions. So I'm glad that fight happened because I needed to get that out the way. I felt like that was my real first loss. I didn't feel like I lost to Miles. I didn't feel like he beat me. He didn't even hit me the whole fight. With Greg, I got to bite down on my mouthpiece and show everybody like I'm not just a jiu-jitsu dude. Like I'm here to fucking fight. So I got to really show my balls and now I'm like, yo, I got nothing to lose. So I'm ready to kill somebody.
Knowing you, how I know you, like before I got to know you, I just kind of thought of you as hey, he's a middleweight contender, one of the top guys in the country, who happens to coach. But now that I know you, I'm like, oh, he's a coach who just happens to fight. And I think about you first and foremost as a guy who's really important in your community, somebody that works a lot with kids, and for your students. I think there's also a lesson here for your students, and for you as like a coach, having like tasted defeat. Like, what would you like? What's the lesson learned that you would share for your students to try to learn from your experience?
Damn, that's a pretty deep question. I would hope that I make them proud. I hope that it would never stop them from chasing their dreams and what they want to do. So I'm on a pedestal at least to these people. A lot of these people look up to me. That would scare a lot. Like, why would I go out and make hard fights and why would I go do these things when that could jeopardize my reputation? These people admire me. I don't have a God syndrome. I'm a human and I want these people to know they're human too. And if they feel fear or they're scared or whatever, if they doubt themselves, doesn't matter. You just go out there and send it. And I wasn't always a coach at first. I was an athlete to begin with, and I did have big aspirations. The role of an instructor was kind of bestowed upon me, and I'm so blessed to have it. I get to do what I love for a living. But now I'm really learning how to blend that. I really am. But for a while, I said I just want to be an instructor. I fell in love with instructing. Why would I even fight? I get to do what I love for a living. Da da da. Um, but now I know it directly feeds one another. If I go out and compete and I bust my ass, like I see it in these children, I see it in these adults. They're ready to go after it. They're ready to send it themselves, and that's what it's all about. At the end of the day, inspiration.
After a little bit of a break, you're going to be back at it again. You're fighting a guy, and his name is Gregory Sizemore. Can you tell me a little bit about your opponent? Who is this guy, and when did this fight get arranged for you?
I felt like I gave my last opponent too much respect. This guy, in my mind, I've flipped, bro. I just want to hurt him.
Mhm.
I just want to hurt him. What I know about him is he's another vet. He's a guy that has a ton of fights. At this point in my career, speaking with some of my coaches, I fight guys that are like these prospects like me that don't have a ton of experience. Sometimes I can just jujitsu them up, or they don't have the same ring time that these vets do, and they've seen it all. So these are awesome fights for me to get experience myself and not just run through a motherfucker. But I mean, I have full intentions, and I believe I'm going to run through this fucking dude. But these are the dudes that you want to see. These dudes are going to come in, bite down on their mouthpiece, and do what they need to do, make playing strategies. They're going to make the weight, etc. I don't want to fight a dude who's going to have fucking. Everybody's going to be scared. I don't want to fight a dude with bubble guts who I take advantage of. At this point in my career, this is what I need. I need experienced stud dudes, tough dudes.
There's going to be a lot of people coming out for the fight. I saw your picture on Instagram. They got like your pretty mug on the side of a building. Is that kind of like a surreal kind of experience to just be like, wow, like, fighting as an anonymous amateur fighter for many years. Now all of a sudden, like, here we fucking are. Is that kind of like weird in a way sometimes?
Damn, that means so much to me, bro. That means so much to me. You know what? When I fought for Cage Fury, they had a billboard up, but it was pretty generic. It was just like two. It could have been two models punching each other. I didn't recognize the people, and it just said "Come out to Parks Casino." So when Mike had given me the call, and you'll see it actually, it's filmed in the documentary. I don't want to give up too many spoilers, but he gives me the call and he says, "Yo, you're gonna be on the billboard." I was like, "Let's go!" Like it really did hype me up a little bit. I said a funny joke. I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna put my speedo on and get prettied up." But hell yeah, bro! That it's surreal and it kind of just and I'll break this down to you. I never really said this. I haven't spoken too much about this. Sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome, and I think a lot of people do deal with that and don't speak about it enough because they don't know what it is. But I sometimes I feel like I have imposter syndrome, like I'm fooling everybody. Um, but seeing something like that, it brings kind of a legitimacy in my mind of, yo, I'm that dude. I am that dude. So I'm fucking pumped, man. I want to hurt this dude.
What
I'm
would
pissed. I want to hurt this dude.
what would winning the Art of War middleweight title like mean for you, not as a fighter, but just like as a man, as a instructor? What would it mean for like your students and like your community winning that title and bringing that home to your gym?
Man, I've already envisioned this, bro. I've been crazy. I've been psycho, and it makes me almost want to cry thinking about it because I'll be in a hard workout and I'll be digging, or after I'm finished a sparring round, I just close my eyes and I'm holding this belt and I'm holding it over my shoulder, and it really makes me. It almost makes me upset. It makes me want to cry.
Mhm.
Not that it's not a UFC title. It's not I'm not winning a WBO title, but it's a professional title and a respected organization around here, and I'm working fucking hard for it. And especially after my last fight, man, it hit me hard. I've never experienced that. I haven't lost to Miles Lee. I feel like I fucking whooped his ass. That was bogus. I never experienced a loss, and in front of my entire friends, family. I never bled. I never really been punched in fights. I've never really been hit. Watch my fight with Gladfelter. Watch any fight in CFC. I've barely been hit. So it, that's going to mean a lot, bro. It is going to mean a lot to me, and especially for my family, the squad. That'll be the first pro title in a long time at my gym since maybe one of my instructors. So that's going to mean a lot.
I had two final questions for you. Number one, you mentioned your documentary that's being filmed at the moment. What can you tell us about that? Is there a release date for that? What can you share about it at this point?
So my younger brother, my brothers are freaking geniuses. I have two younger brothers. Like they're geniuses. They're mad smart wizard kids. One's an engineer. The other one decided he wanted to go into film school, cinematography at Rowan. And he had elected my life or my story to be the main one of the main films that they're going to film. Um, they chose it. They took this last camp. It was just going to be this last camp. He wanted the title. I was like, nah, fuck that. I lost. Like, we got to keep going. Like, we got to add more. It's maybe like a 30-minute film. Um, it includes a little bit of personal life, what it means, me being a gypsy, some of the work that I do, and my livelihood, me teaching, instructing children, how I balance that, my fight for the Art Award title the first time. And right now we're filming this camp, and we're gonna film me TKOing or beating the shit out of Greg Sizemore. And yeah, we're gonna have a fairy tale ending after that. As far as the release date, all of this work now has to be done just solely by my younger brother before he had a school and his classmates. So I'm hoping September-ish. I'm hoping. I think that's a lot of time.
Mhm.
So I'm hoping around September-ish. We'll get a release date and we're gonna put it out into film festivals, things like that. This is a project for him. I'm happy that he chose me and knew me enough as a character to do the project on. So we'll
Well,
see. We'll see when the release date is.
and one kind of final question for you before we wrap up is simply this: Are you still selling tickets, and how can people watch you fight on pay-per-view? If there is a pay-per-view, I assume there's a Star Fund thing.
Yeah, what is it? Starstream, Starfun?
Yeah,
I forget the name of it. I just know I share it all the times on the posters, and I have a bunch of tickets. I got so many tickets. So if people are watching this and you're thinking about it, or you're a friend of mine or a friend of a friend's, if you've never been to an MMA event, this is one of the biggest events in Philadelphia. The guys on the card are all studs. The biggest ticket sellers are on this card in Philadelphia. It's right at Live Casino, so you want to get a cheesesteak, get some grub, do whatever. If you're a fan of me, I promise, I don't ever say this. I'm going to beat the shit out this dude. I'm fucking pissed off. I'm upset about my last fight, and I want to fuck this dude up. No offense to Sizemore. He could be the coolest dude in the world. I don't drink, but I'll buy him a beer afterwards. But I have ill intentions. I have really ill intentions. I want to fuck him up.
well, hey, that sounds pretty good to me. And I'd want to give you the opportunity if there's anyone out there that you'd like to thank, or if there are any sponsors, Earl, that you need to talk about before I let you go. Let's do it.
Yeah, you know what? Shoot, let's do that now. Of course, my entire team, 302 Jiu-Jitsu, Ed Hall, Hall of Fame Fitness. That is my guy, my wrestling coach. Um, Bill Algio, Eric Carner, out of Algio's MMA King of Prussia. Martinez, BJJ, Chris Kaldakis, all those heavyweight guys have been working with me this entire camp. They've been a tremendous part of my camp. And you know what? I guess I got to do this. And one of my sponsors, I'm going to give him the spotlight. And my tattoo artist, he's been sponsoring me since day one.
All
So
right, let's do it.
I'll tell you, we got some little memorabilia up here.
Oh, there we go.
This is from when I. This is actually from a title fight I won here. And we'll give my guy a shout out just for a second. My
What's
dude Adam
up?
Watkins, he's been holding it down since day one.
Let's
He's
go.
actually first ever sponsor, so
Perfect.
give him that limelight, man.
Well, well, Earl, you're the man. I wish you the best of luck on your fight, and I want to see another fight later on this year too. I hope. I hope I'm not being too greedy, but I want to see you fight two more times before the end of the year.
Man, I've been fighting a lot actually. The next card is in September. I'll tell you what, something I haven't talked a lot about. I'm thinking about going to Thailand and doing a camp out there. So if I can bounce off that and come back and fight, I'm
Let's
wanting to do that.
Well, Earl, I appreciate your time. Thank you for the Blair Witch tour. You're the man, and we'll do it again very soon, my friend.